It's important for me to be able to present these next two awards to two individuals that without their help, there would be no SBDC office. I have heard that if there is someone you hold in high regard, you have two choices. You can envy them or admire them. With the quality of these two men, it is very easy for me to choose. I admire both a great deal. Oftentimes we hear, man, if I only knew 10 years ago what I know now, what a difference it would make. It does seem odd to me that each year my eyesight gets worse, but yet my vision gets better. Our first award is presented to Gary Sukut and is our Icon Award. This is something I should have done a long time ago, because quite frankly, without his foresight and dedication, this office would not exist. Back in 1998 or 99, Gary decided he needed to have an office that would help people with business plans, financing, and startups. Very few people probably know that the original SBDC office was part of Minot State, and Williston was a satellite office. In 2003, Williston took over the program. I can remember Gary going around to all the economic development groups and banks and trying to convince them what a great service this was and how we should use it. And he said, oh, by the way, we need you to help us raise local funds to match our federal dollars. At the time, I was the economic development director in Crosby. Quite frankly, I may have been one of Gary's toughest converts until he came in and explained what he was doing and how it would help. Actually, I figured out that if the project didn't work or they didn't get a loan, they'd blame him instead of me. Now in 2003, Gary decided he was going to retire, or I think he was prepping for his legislative run, and said that the position was going to be open. I can remember applying for the job, and the first time through, there wasn't any other applicants, so they opened it up again. I applied again and was fortunate enough to get hired the second time around. Now, if you know Gary, he comes across as super professional, very even-mannered, and was always dressed in a suit. He was always so cool, and if there was a James Bond of the SBDC, he would definitely be Sean Connery. I can remember going through the little bit of onboarding we were able to do that first week. Well, actually, it was half a day. Wondering what I got myself into, because there is no way I could wear a suit to work every day. I can remember two things from the day he turned the office over to me. One, he said, if you're any good at all, a bank or insurance agency will probably hire you right away before you know it. Well, you can see that didn't happen. And two, as he turned to leave, he looked at me and said, you'll figure it out. I really thought, how hard can this be? All I got to do is meet a few people and tell them not to do all the stupid things I've done and not make all the mistakes I've made and help them wherever we can. Several years later, we ran into Gary when he was in the legislature, and Sean and I were working on a project. And the first thing Gary said to me is, man, you're still doing the SBDC thing? Well, Gary, I hate to break it to you, but I'm still here. And there is nothing that gives me more pleasure than providing you with this Icon Award, because without you, I would not be able to do what I do every day. But more importantly, we wouldn't be able to provide this wonderful service to all the people in our region, because without your foresight, commitment, dedication, your grace in class, and most importantly of all, your love of this community. Let's watch the video and then come up and get your award.
Gary Sukut's roots in Williston business trace back to his parents, who acquired Holmes typewriter in 1944, eventually evolving it into the iconic Sukut office equipment. While successfully running the family business until 2005, Gary also served as a Williston City Commissioner and president of both the Williston Chamber of Commerce and Williston Rotary. From 2006 to 2018, Gary represented Williston in the North Dakota House of Representatives. From a young entrepreneur building his family business to a leader in North Dakota politics, Gary has made a lasting impact on Western North Dakota.
What a privilege it is and an honor to be here, this evening to accept this award. I've had the privilege to do a lot of things in my 8 decades of living in Williston. Teaching, coaching, 41 years with Sukut Office Equipment, 20 years of running up and down Highway 2 to promote 4-laning, which I'm happy to say we did finally complete. 3 years with the Small Business Development Center, 12 years in the North Dakota legislature, just to name a few. But through all of that, there is a common thread that determines kind of whether in any of these efforts or any other efforts that are community efforts, there's a common thread that determines whether you're successful or not. And that common thread is people. So if you don't know this, I'm going to tell you, the greatest people in this nation are in North Dakota. And in particular, the greatest people are in Williston, North Dakota. You know, in order to get anything done, and I think Joel said it earlier, in order to get anything done, it takes working together. And in Williston, and actually in this area, we have a great reputation for working together to get things done. So I've been so fortunate to have grown up and been a part of this Williston community my entire life. And now to be called Icon of the Year, fortunately it's not Ex-Con of the Year. Go back to my first criminal offense. I got caught throwing rocks at cars when I was 3 years old. But I couldn't be more humbled, honored, proud to accept this award. Thank you, Keith Olson, who I knew was instrumental in my selection. And I am so proud of Keith and the job that he has done with the SBDC and keeping it the #1 producer in the state of North Dakota. And we have been that since day one. So great job, Keith. I'm proud of you. So thanks to Keith, and who I'm sure was instrumental in my selection, and to all the others who were involved in my selection. Thank you very much. God bless you all.